let him know that Nate won't be here, but we do. And what was your name again?
Darren.
Darren. Okay. We're gonna have you come on almost first, and you're gonna have to sit almost really hip to hip with him, and we're just gonna introduce you and Nate's Wings and Waffles, and wings, waffles, and beer now.
Yes, we have a full bar.
Okay, so talk about that as soon as this is. There we go. I guess we just
Start.
We're live. All right. Well, welcome to the Real Dog TV Saturday Tailgate Show. I'm Tyson Allenbaugh. This is Anthony Dion. Mike Martin's behind the scenes. In fact, he's going to enter the scene. Thank you for joining us. Yes, go Dogs. Fourth-ranked Huskies, 9-0, taking on the USC Trojans, 6-3, 20th in the college football playoff poll. Let's just not waste any time. And Anthony, like normal, talk about what's at stake today.
Well, I think we have a lot at stake. North Division lead, obviously. We're tied with Wazoo, 6-0, so that's at stake. Plus the number 4 ranking and being in the college football playoff consideration. Quite a bit at stake, guys. And let's dive right into kind of the preview. We're going to talk about UW's offense versus USC defense, and then vice versa, as well as the special teams. And I think UW's going to have a lot right on Jake Browning. Obviously, just keeping him upright will be key. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, and before we jump into all that, I'm going to bring in Darren from Nate's Wings and Waffles.
Oh,
He's
that's
going
right.
to tell us about Nate's Wings and Waffles.
Yeah, we're live, by the way. Yeah, from Nate's Wings and Waffles. Darren, right here. Nice to meet you. Thank you for hosting us today. Real quickly, for those who don't know, do you mind giving us a little bit of a background on the restaurant, when it opened, just like how it came to fruition, and what you guys, not are striving for, but the community aspect of it as well.
Right. So we've been open at this location for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
Kind of started out as my idea. I'm from California originally, and when we moved up here, I saw that you guys don't have a chicken and waffle restaurant.
We do not.
So I've known Nate for a while. I'm good friends with his agent.
Okay.
It just happened to be my son and his son were not on the same team, but in the same league for football. And they were at practice, and I saw Nate, and I just walked up and introduced myself, told him I was friends with his agent. He's like, oh yeah. And I own a food truck called Happy Grillmore, and we do burgers and fries and stuff like that. And I told Nate what I wanted to do. He's like, man, I've been trying to bring a Roscoe's up here for like a lot of years, long time already. And I told him, we should do a chicken waffle food truck. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we exchanged information, and then nothing ever happened to it. He went on to get traded and played a couple different teams since then. And, I just tried to do it on my own. I started doing it, and then kind of ran out of some funds issues. So I called up Nate. I was like, hey, do you still want to do it? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we opened up a spot 2 years ago in Rainier Beach, and then we moved to this location about a year ago.
Okay. So I was going to ask, do you have 2 locations in Rainier Beach?
We just have the one. Yeah, we closed down Rainier Beach one and moved over here about a year ago.
It's a nice location, and I guess I'm looking at artwork on the wall. I mean, really a nice spot. You guys got a full bar now. I mean, it's like what when people come here, what can they expect other than obviously good food?
Really good food, really fun atmosphere, very family friendly. We have TVs, we have all the games on, Huskies, we have all the NFL games. We have Sunday ticket, so we can watch all the football games.
Yeah, and you guys, I'm assuming, obviously have a good happy hour, obviously.
We have really good drinks. We have really good deals on our wings and sandwiches during happy hours.
And lastly, kind of what's the response you've got from the community, whether obviously you were in Rainier Beach before, but moving here, I'm assuming a lot of people have come from there to here. Just, what have the people been saying back to you?
It's they liked it. I mean, we brought another restaurant to this community. Like, there wasn't really a lot of places to eat over here. This building's been vacant for a couple of years.
Oh wow!
When we took it over, it was they were pretty happy about it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So I mean, this neighborhood's changing a lot. I'm not from Seattle originally, but I could just see the change being here for 5 years. The change has gone through since we've been here. It's good and bad, but I think serving this community has been a pleasure for us, and we have we have a large selection of beer. We only have a few beers on tap. We carry at Manny's locally. Everybody loves Georgetown Brewery.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And then I guess lastly, just give us some hours. Give us the hours. When can people stop by?
We're open every day. We open at 11 o'clock every day. We're open till 10 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and Friday, Saturday we're open till 11.
Awesome, Darren. Thank you for hopping on.
Yes, sir.
Owner, proprietor, Nate's Wings and Waffles, where we're coming at you live today from Anthony, and hopefully we'll get a taste of the Manny's later on. And it's really, before we get back to the X's and O's, it's really nice to see guys. I mean, they talk about the Seattle basketball community. I know this is a football show right now. Nate did play some football, but those guys really do invest. It's not just talk. They actually put dollars and time in Seattle, and that's in, whether they're Huskies or even a Jamal Crawford who's just a native. The list goes on and on. It's just so nice to be a part of something like this.
That's huge. I mean, they really give back to the community, and that's what you want to see from your star athletes that have risen from this local scene and done what
so few can do.
Exactly.
And they lift. Rising tide lifts all boats, kind of thing. And
right.
And like you said, I mean, who knew this? This has been vacant for so long, and they turn it into a restaurant. Like I said, there's fantastic artwork. You can't really see it right now on our street here.
No, but it's nice in here.
It's nice in here, full bar. I mean, this is really cool. Admittedly, I knew he had a restaurant. I didn't realize where it was, but this is really central. I mean, you're right off the freeway, just a couple turns.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Linwood, or Bothell rather. 30-minute drive. That's not too bad.
No.
For chicken and waffles, like he said.
So
No chicken and
I'm
waffles.
actually anxious to taste some of their food. This is my first visit here, but I don't really come out to the Capitol Hill too much. But
Yeah.
Anthony, come in a little bit closer. But I tell you what, the one thing is I am doing the Don James documentary.
Right.
I was talking to Jockey's dad last week, and I told him what I wanted to do. He made one call to Nate, and he was like, "Heck yeah, get on down." And I mean, it's the Husky community. It's not just the basketball community, but it's the entire family. And the one thing that you see with Jen Cohen is she preaches family. And these guys are all so tied in together that rising tide lifts all ships, but it's great to see the Husky community alive, vibrant. Nate, they're all doing so many good things around here. This is just a great reception that we've had here this morning.
And I don't know if the newest Pursuit video, I'm sure most Husky fans have been following that, the award-winning documentary series that they put out about, I think they've done 5 so far this season. They actually talk about Jen and other administration members talk about what Purple Rain means to them, and Jen uses the word community about 5 times in what Purple Rain means to her, and that's basically what you just said. You're echoing what she has said too, is that it is a family, it is something, and it's like the Huskies can't, and the University of Washington, whether it's a football program or whatever, can't be its best unless it's together and it's tight-knit, like you said, where you can talk to Jock, he can make a call, we're here, or whatever it may be, some other example. There's plenty of other examples.
And that's something that if you go to realdog.com and go find our Throwback Thursday stories, you'll find stories in there where I interviewed Jen Cohen, and it's her whole background and what she learned from Don James and how they've been able to take that community feeling and how he's really taken the family, not just the team, but now she's taking it to girls sports, men's sports. It's a vibrant community. And if you go to realdog.com, you can find all the stories on there from the 84 season. We're going to start branching out into the 91 national championship teams and the 90s and stuff like that. But it's just it's the Husky community has grown so tightly in the dark era.
Yeah.
And they survived the dark era together. And that's one thing that if you go to Real Dog, you'll see a story that I did. 31 years ago today, the Huskies went into LA and they played in they were undefeated going into LA and they lost.
Yeah.
And it was a heartbreaking loss, but Coach James preached brotherhood, he preached family, and it didn't tear them apart. There were no fingers pointed. I talked to Joe Kelly, who played in the NFL for 12 years, Jimmy Rogers, all these guys talked about how they were shocked at the result, but they stayed together. They stayed brothers. A loss like that to a lot of teams, maybe an LA team, that is there for the glitz and the glamour, but you come to Washington to play football. You come here to play smash mouth football and the brotherhood. And Coach Pete, you see it in his teams. How, and Joe Kelly, I talked to him and he said, I didn't have Rod Jones as a teammate. I had Rod Jones from El Cerrito, California. I knew his brother, I knew his cousin, I knew all these people. It's a family.
Yeah. And
that's what we get here at Nathan Wings and Waffles. And I love how they have just greeted us with open arms today. And, I hope everybody can see the sign right here, Nathan Wings and Waffles. Drop by. They have a great atmosphere here, great food. And we're going to go over to Anthony, and he's going to give us what we're going to talk about.
Husky offense.
Yeah, let's just start talking about the Husky offense against the USC defense. I think it all starts up front. Tyson. The UW has to really control the line of scrimmage against USC. USC's got some big bodies up front, some solid athletes that can really rush the passer. And I think they're going to try to come after Jake and make him a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how you see things playing out?
Well, with that, because I kind of have a similar, especially early on, I think, we talk about going into a road stadium and kind of not making the statements the right way, but you want to start quick. So if you're USC, you want to establish the lead, or at least if you're on defense first, a 3 and out would be obviously good as far as confidence goes. And they're a confident bunch anyway. I mean, they go to USC, they're Division I football players. They're not without confidence, but in an environment that they haven't really been in since Utah back in September, it'd be nice to start off hot. My point being, it's a long way of saying, I think first down for UW in this game is critical, because I think if they're able to get it to 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, 2nd and 3, manageable, I think that will take. It will be a lot harder to put your hand in the dirt and just run straight forward and rush Jake, or have those linebackers flow quickly to stop Miles.
Right.
Basically what I'm thinking.
Right, and like all I want to say, anytime you get a lot of yards on first down and you have that short down distance on second, it makes it so much easier in the playbook to find plays to call, not only on second down, but then on third down, if you are unable to come up with a pass play on second down and you still have third and fourth, but it's third and manageable.
Right.
And I think USC is going to be really focused on getting off the field on third down, so UW's going to have to be good on first down, like you said, but also is always good on third down.
Right, exactly.
So, getting those yards on first down, making it manageable in the second and third down opportunities, and just converting first downs. Yeah,
especially more than this game, because like we said, like a lot of the analysis, to be frank, you could say for just about any game. It's like obviously you want to be good on first down, you want to be good, but it's different when you're facing Cal and whatever the heck they put out on defense, and then when you're going up against the Trojans and the ratings, the stars, all that stuff, does mean something.
Right.
Like there's a reason why they have. Because UW offers all these guys too. Let's not get it twisted. Like these guys are all players everybody on the West Coast, and a lot of times the nation wants. Point being is we know all about that, but really the USC defense is cresting right now. But they did give up 27 points to Stanford. Stanford scored 27 points against USC. Now, granted, that was week 3, and then we're in week 10 now.
Yeah.
The idea being though, it's not as if they're they're not bulletproof.
This isn't I'm not really familiar with all the great Trojan teams, but this isn't, I guess, their 2004 great defense of Pete Carroll. Okay, so they have they've got some players on defense, but they are a little bit vulnerable to the run game, I think, and also the passing game. Cal's quarterback, Davis Webb, did have a solid game against them. I don't have my laptop up with the numbers in front of me, but I do know that he threw for over 300 yards, and they put up 24 points. So UW's offense is number 1 in the Pac-12, both passing and running right now, I think. So, just do what you do.
Yeah.
Right? And I think Washington's so balanced both in the passing game and the run game. It's not something where they lean heavily run or they lean heavily pass. USC's going to have to game plan to stop both.
Respect everything, and that's why it will be interesting to see. And to speak simplistically, if it is going to be a sort of, as far as what they do on the outside, is it going to be just, like I said, simplistically, Adoree versus John Ross, or man on man? Are they going to have 8 in the box? Are they going to try to play with 2 safeties back because of how efficient and how well Jake and this offense can go deep? I mean, there's a reason why UW only runs about, I think it's 60, 65 plays, but they score more per play, like their points per play. Adam June, the Seattle Times, had a great stat on that. I can't remember what it is right now. I'll pull it up. The point being is they're the most efficient offense since Russell Wilson in Wisconsin back in 2011.
Yeah.
So
they're scoring quick.
They're scoring very quickly, and like I said, it doesn't take a ton of time. So I'm interested to see how USC decides to defend that. Obviously, they're going to mix it up, but I'm curious how they start lately, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. How Washington starts the game will be critical because being at home, you want to get that crowd involved. And I think the quicker we start, the quicker we can get USC behind. It's just going to rile that crowd up, and we want to keep them in the game as much as possible. So, start fast like they have in the first quarter. I mean, they've outscored opponents in the first quarter 128 to 20 as we stand right now through 9 weeks. So, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing and get that defense playing up the field with kind of, just full steam ahead kind of thing where they're able to just kind of pin their ears back and get after Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Tyson, I was going to ask you what kind of players do you think for Washington are going to be critical in this game? Do you think it's going to be another big game for John Ross, or do you think some alternate players kind of on the periphery right now that maybe Dante Pettis, maybe Chico McClatcher will be the go-to guy or a key cog in today's one?
I think I'm going to try to, because we haven't seen a ton of Chico because he's been working his way back from injury, but I do like where you're thinking. Maybe it's not Chico. Can I just go John Ross versus the field? I'm going to go the field. I'll take the field today. As far as, because, Aaron Fuller has shown some flashes. He's a true freshman, caught a touchdown against Oregon State. He's been playing a lot. Quentin Pounds is somebody, and Andre Bocelli. They've been working their way in, but obviously with the 2 receivers they have, and like we talked about, they're not the ton of plays they run, maybe not a ton of opportunities, but with the way Peterson puts guys in positions to be successful, I saw a great explanation. The best thing that Peterson does with his receivers in his formations is depth, meaning receivers almost always have clean releases, and it's a lot easier for Quentin or guys or Chico who are maybe a little bit smaller to be able to get a free release and then be able to run the routes. And we've seen the route running this year. So basically that's a long way of saying I'll take the field today. I'll take the field. And that doesn't mean John Quick will have a bad game.
But I do think that they're going to focus on stopping John Ross, and with a guy like Adoree Jackson on John Ross, now the speed and the athleticism are kind of matched up. So I can also see the tight ends being more involved this week.
We saw Darrell.
Darrell Daniels and Drew Sample getting more than just the one catch. I mean, there were big catches last week against Cal, but getting them more targets, I think, will be important to Jake Browning.
And I want to touch on John Ross very quickly. I know he had 208 yards or 204 yards against Cal, but there's a lot of room for growth for him still. If you watched how he had to slow down for those balls, those weren't underthrown balls. That was a poorly run route. Now against USC, that ball is probably picked.
Yeah.
Okay? He needs to be able to come out of his break later, accelerate to the ball, try to keep the receiver in his hip pocket, and then be able to explode away from the receiver because that ball is already in the air when he's 10 feet downfield or 10 yards downfield.
Yeah.
And Jake is thrown to a spot on the field. So when John Ross can continue to drive the defender downfield, break late, and accelerate to the ball, he has speed to burn. And if he can break late on these balls, the amount of growth for him is actually shocking when you realize that he ran very sloppy routes against Cal. The sky's the limit for this guy. He could destroy a lot of teams.
I know we talked about this on Monday, Mike. I still disagree with you on that kind of take, but it'd be interesting to get a offensive coordinator or a quarterbacks coach take on how that kind of between Jake Browning's timing on
The
that
balance
play.
of it, yeah.
What the
How
wide
about the wide
receiver's
receivers
involvement
coach?
is, and what the quarterback's play on that is, whether he's got to get that ball out quicker or whether John didn't time it quite right. I think most coaches would say that the ball's just got to be thrown a little bit deeper, but I mean that's a point maybe for another time. But I do think John, they both have room for improvement, and John Ross is going to be crucial in this game, and it'll be interesting to see how he's able to find some room against Adoree Jackson, who's one of the top corners in college football right now.
Yeah, and when I've coached receivers, for several years, and I played semi-pro and receiver. You try to keep the DB with you. You don't want to just run as fast as you can and outrun it's sort of like out-kicking your coverage. You don't want to kick the ball so far downfield that the punt returner can have a free and open space. You want to kick in time with the amount of your fastest guy. Whatever your fastest guy can get down there, that's where you want to have. That's the amount of hang time that you want to have on the ball. And it's the same thing with your receiver. You want to throw to the hash mark on the 30 or the opposite hash mark on the 30. As a receiver, you need to stay on your route and break late so that you can accelerate away from the defender. And at this level, especially now at Cal, he was able to make up for it by shielding the DB. But the DB is also whiffed a couple times. I don't expect USC to whiff.
Well, I think
he's going to have to be a lot better in his route running against.
I think that's the larger point that what actually happened at Cal. It's more the idea of being precise and executing. Forget even just John Ross.
Exactly.
Everybody. It's like the margin for error shrinks. And we talked about this just a second ago, is where it's like, we said being good on first and third down, every game, of course, you want to be like that. But against a Cal or an Oregon State, margin for error, maybe here. Against USC, probably closer to here. I know that's very unscientific, but that's the whole point. It's like, it's not even just John Ross running better routes. Everybody has to. I mean, there's just so little room because of the guys like Adoree Jackson that can go just dig in and break on the ball. So that's Jake too, and that's Jake as well. Like, there can't be sloppiness, basically.
We talked about strike point accuracy, and Jake's going to have to be on point with that today.
Yeah, we talked about
be right in that window rather than maybe off to this side or right in front that side.
Yeah.
Right here in the chest, up here in the face mask.
That's it.
Yeah, and we talked about that a lot earlier. We talked about how hard earlier in the season,
Yes.
and you see how that has paid off such huge dividends. And even Dante Pettis with his little throw last week against Cal, you look how Daniels brought it in right here and was able to just turn the hips and go.
Right.
I mean, these guys are very well coached, and this offense is, I think you guys were touching on it already, they're on a record pace right now for explosive and for efficiency. Not just Jake Browning as a QB.
No. This is like we said, it's as a whole, and there's a number of ways you can parse it, and it's pretty clear. It's one of them, like we said, one of the most efficient offenses in recent college football history. Whether it's 2007 or 2011 Wisconsin, I think 2010 Boise State was up there, shocking with Kellen Moore and Coach Chris Peterson.
Right.
And there's other ones too that I'm going to pull up just to get a little bit more context. But what a time when, in an era of, you look around some of the best offenses. Well, maybe not Baylor this year, but Baylor in recent years, where it's in Oregon with Chip Kelly and so on and so forth. It's tempo, it's number of plays, it's just a machine. Well, UW is almost kind of zigging where maybe others are zagging and saying, no, we'll do it in about 15 less plays per game, which is, I think, honestly, it's more spirit killing if you're a defense, where it's like they barely even need the ball to actually put up touchdowns.
Yeah, and they find ways to. If you look at the double pass the week before against Utah,
yeah,
you look at the double pass, how that worked. John Ross pulled the DB that would have covered Darrell Daniels. Okay, well then they do a little gadget play where now it's Dante Pettis.
Yeah.
And they do such a great job of finding space. You look at Oregon a couple of years ago. I think they were 4th on the list for efficient offenses for scoring average per drive. But they did theirs with 7-8 plays, but they'd have that one explosive play. Against Cal, they had, I think it was 20 explosive plays. 20 plays of 10 yards or better, 7 of 30 yards or better.
Yeah, speaking of that, USC this year, and now this is through the season, let's see, 10 yards or more, 140 plays of 10 yards or more allowed through 9 games. And 47 of 20 or more. So there is a chance now. Again, like I said, they've tightened down. But you mentioned Davis Webb being able to move the ball a bit. Oregon didn't really have a ton of success, but freshman QB on the road. Well, idea being is it's available, but we'll go back to this. It has to be precise because the margin of error, similar to a Utah, it's just smaller. It's just it's just the truth.
Just smaller windows because they're bigger athletes, they're faster athletes that you're dealing with against Southern Cal.
Yeah.
So,
which you could say year in and year out, whether they're 3-8 or 8-3, they're going to have good dudes.
And here in a couple of minutes, we're going to have Jimmy Rogers, who played on the Huskies '84 team that lost. They led 7-6 at half. They lost 16-7, and it was a lot of the wearing down, the size of the players. They weren't the Oregon-sized players. Mm-hmm. They're NFL-sized players. And they come at you, and they wear you down. And he's going to talk about the '84 defense and how they did everything right against USC, but they still didn't get it done in that second half. In the fourth quarter, USC scored 10 points. The Huskies couldn't score any, and they USC wound up winning. But that USC size, that NFL prototype linebacker, defensive back, defensive lineman, they're the 6'4", 320 nose guard, the 6'3", 240 linebacker, the 6'3", 220 DB. They're all there. It's still a USC team. They always recruit well. And here we're going to have Jimmy Rogers coming up here in about a minute. He's going to talk to you guys. I'm going to go get him and Anthony. Talk a little bit about transitioning over into the defense, and I'll get Jimmy.
All right. Yeah. So I think as we touched on the offense, how they score so quickly. Well, that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the defense because they're going to be on the field a lot, and they're going to have to continually prevent USC from scoring points to answer. So to me, this comes down to the defense. It's going to be a defensive football game. I know the offenses are going to get some points, but whoever can stop the other team the most, it seems really simple. Yeah. But that's going to be the key factor.
Yeah.
How you can get off the field defensively.
Yeah, and we'll get more specifically into the Husky defense. All right, we're going to slide over again. Hey.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Jimmy Rogers. All right. Safety, 1984 Orange Bowl team.
85 Orange Bowl.
84 season. Thank you for it. I'll be slide a little bit this way. We're gonna get a little tight there. All right. Now, before we go back in time, this season though, can you just talk about what this season has meant to you as a former dog and seeing kind of the resurgence of this program?
It means everything. It's been extremely surreal. The fact that we had the Purple Rain thing going on. They're bringing it back. They brought back the Purple Rain. Let it rain again. We got a coach in there that likes to teach people how to tackle.
Yeah.
So it's been really enjoying for all of us. And we also were put the Hall of Fame. The 84 teams put the Hall of Fame last month. So it's kind of a surreal.
Kind of how it's working.
Which is all one reason I'm a little nervous today.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because they were undefeated going to USC, which we don't want to talk too much about. But it was a close fought game and a flawless game for the most part.
My next question is, how did you, as alumni, I know during the dark years that we don't want to necessarily talk about, the coach that shall not be named, and some of the alumni relations were bad. How has Peterson and his staff, and maybe Jim Cohen, kind of brought those guys back in the fold? Obviously, being inducted to the Hall of Fame is a big deal, but maybe talk about your experience working with the new administration and the new coaching staff, if you have, or met with them or talked with them.
I've met with them. I've talked to them. I've dealt with them as far as the Orange Bowl reunion.
Yep.
As far as the Don James statue.
Yep.
So we raised the money for that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Hey,
So
maybe we'll talk about that as well.
Sure, definitely. So to work with that, I think that, for example, the Don James statue was the UW was approached by some of the 91 team.
Okay.
And the difference between it getting done and not getting done wasn't the players; it was who was at the University of Washington.
Okay.
And that's Jim Cohen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sums up your
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. There you go. Good to hear. Do you have something, Anthony?
Yeah, as a former safety, Jimmy, I wonder kind of how you are seeing this defensive secondary come together. They all started relatively young as freshmen, most of them Sidney Jones, Buda Baker, Jaron Gardner-Hare all played as freshmen. How have you seen their progress happen? It's one of the better secondaries in college football now.
Yeah, so one of the best in college football. It's such a different game.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare. I mean, obviously, watching them come together has been a real thrill for everybody, but we try to compare the 84 to these guys, and it's just a different ball.
Yeah, I mean,
back
it's
then, it was
30.
like we would have been thrown out in the first quarter. Every one of us would have been disqualified for
Yeah.
2 games
Yes,
in the
yes.
season.
Yeah. Target.
So-
Oh, they just the head rules and all that
yeah,
stuff. And,
but you know the tackling, like I said earlier, is very impressive. Obviously, the one-on-one's been fantastic.
Yeah.
The thing you don't notice about corners is if they're doing their job, you usually don't hear much about it.
right. It's almost like offensive linemen in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if they get beat, then you'll hear about it. So Bestie Jackson was our starting cornerback.
Yeah.
He probably could have started at tailback for anybody in the country. And he has the second most interception in the history of the Chicago Bears franchise.
Oh, no kidding.
And nobody talks about Bestie.
Yeah.
Right? You never
Yeah.
got beat.
Yeah, never know that. That's a good way to think about it. Now let's go back. Let's turn back the clock, and we don't want to get too much into necessarily the specific USC loss, but more of things talking about like the brotherhood that we saw on the Throwback Thursday that our own Mike Martin wrote here. Just like what it was like to be a part of a championship team. Obviously no Rose Bowl, but a unique honor to go to the Orange Bowl until 2003. The only Pac-10 team to ever go and win an Orange Bowl. I mean, a crazy honor, a unique honor, but also a champion. Just talk about the brotherhood of being, again, a champion at the conference level and then at the Orange Bowl.
Well, there was absolutely no discrimination. We had probably 10 different guys that could be captains.
Yeah.
And so therefore, 4 of them were selected. The other 6, 7, 8 guys could have taken the locker room, so to speak.
Right.
Like Jock Robinson was probably the best teammates in
Yeah.
the history of Washington football, and he was being punished by Don or penalized throughout his whole career because he showed up his sophomore year overweight.
Oh, right.
So he was constantly running Jock after practice, and Jock just kept running and never said 2 words, and he could have created chaos
Right.
because he was a leader. Everybody loved Jock and followed him. And when he got in the huddle, even though he wasn't starting very much,
Yeah.
The offensive lineman told me to this day that the huddle was different.
Oh, wow.
When Jock was in the huddle, when he was running the ball and you're blocking the defensive lineman,
Yeah.
it was different for the offensive lineman because they typically, if Cookie Jackson was in the backfield, for
Yeah.
example, the defensive lineman knew Cookie was going to eventually go outside.
Right, he's going to bounce.
Towards the side.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Jock could go. It was an advantage for the offensive lineman, and they also knew that Jock was going to fight for every yard. So if you could hold that block one more split second,
Just-
you knew, yeah.
He could go the
So
distance.
we had guys like that, like Freddie Small, could have been Ronnie Holmes, the list goes on. And
Right.
We had a ton of guys that could have been captain, could have torn apart the locker room.
Right.
And it was never a subject. There was never any unwarranted issues that showed up, or it was all about football.
Yeah.
So if there was a problem, we took care of it.
You dealt with it.
Within the locker room, you never heard about it in the media. Of course, we didn't have the same social media, but still, it was a very tight knit. And to this day,
Yeah.
with the Hall of Fame on the 23rd last month, it was just special. It was very surreal.
Yeah.
To get with these guys. So you go from 84, where everybody's in their 18, 19, 20 years old,
Yeah.
and all alpha males, and the testosterone,
Yes.
the competition, everybody's trying to kill each other
Yeah.
on a daily basis, and then you go to, we're all in our 50s, and we're all very grateful and gracious. And
Yes.
so happy to see each other.
Yes.
So
Hugs
it was such a different dynamic
That's-
compared to, because we hit more in practice than most
Oh,
teams
right.
on Saturdays.
Now, yes, God, boy,
So-
it was a different time. As far as today goes, Husky Stadium obviously has been a little dormant, since basically maybe with Tui and that Rose Bowl team.
Right.
Obviously, Husky Stadium was rocking
15 years ago.
15 years ago. We saw it against Stanford on Friday night, which was obviously just astonishing, for a younger guy like me that really hasn't seen Husky Stadium rocking like that. What do you expect today? And then also maybe, you don't have to say who's better or worse, but maybe compare it back to your time on Montlake.
But, it doesn't matter who I think is better or worse in terms of the two teams today,
Yeah.
or is that what you're asking?
No, I was going to say the
From our
crowd.
teams?
No, I was going to say the crowd. Like, talk about the crowd difference. And did you see that Stanford
Well,
game? That seemed, was that closer to what you were used to? I guess. Is more
That's
what
what we were used to.
Yeah.
You come out of that tunnel when Don James said captain's up.
Yeah.
It was like the highlight of your life.
Yeah.
You would be elevated, and you literally couldn't feel your feet in the turf.
Right.
And that's what it was like back then. So if you want to go back to the USC game, they closed 5:20 that day. Or I think it was when Marcus Allen was going for the Heisman.
Wow.
USC was at home, and it was a Rose Bowl, playoff game.
Right.
And they closed 5:20. The weather was so bad, and at that point, we always wanted bad weather
Yes.
because they had the specialty positions more
Yes.
so than we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're hoping the weather's better, but we still appreciate the fourth.
Yeah.
But with the 520 bridge closed down, we had to go over I-90, and then coming out to the field, I think Chuck Nelson made a field goal, and everybody had garbage bags as umbrellas,
Yeah.
as overcoats,
Yeah.
and they let them fly. And the whole place was circling with garbage bags and newspapers, and it was a magical moment.
Yeah.
Then we kicked off, and this is where a legend was made, or
Yeah.
born, I should say, and that's what you're going to see today. You're
Yeah.
going to see a legend, a local legend, made in this game today,
Right.
whether it's a Dante Pettis, or a John Ross, or a Buda Baker, somebody.
These are the
just-
type of matchups where that happens.
This is the type of game where there's going to be one play, and Freddie Small, we kicked off towards the end of the game, we still had the whole USC, and the ball was bouncing all over the wind and
Yeah.
the rain, and next thing you know, it's in the end zone, and there's 22 guys on the ball, and this freshman from Compton comes out, Freddie Small, touchdown Huskies,
Yeah.
nobody will forget him.
No.
Rest in peace, Freddie.
Well, that kind of leads us into, I guess, my last question. Just what do you think the Huskies have to do to get a W today over USC? Just a couple specific things, or maybe general things. I don't know. What do you just think needs to happen for Coach Peterson to get a win?
I think they need to. Improve their punting game. For starters.
Yeah, field position. So basically, field position.
Field position is huge in these
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
You might not see all the turnovers. You might not see all the big plays.
Right.
And again, they've got some people that can try to defend John Ross.
Right.
I hope they still try to double team him because, in my opinion, Dante Pettis is one of the best pure football players I've seen in a long time on the field.
Yeah, he's a really
And the
good
defensive
receiver.
line and DBs are just exceptional. So,
Yeah.
I mean, where they keep coming up with these guys. Spring, I saw Logic fall.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, who's Rita?
Yeah.
6'4", what?
Yeah.
And then who's this Gaines guy?
Yeah.
Right.
And then somebody else
That
popped
game
up,
guy's
Turp
just a
or
little bone
TRP, Turpin, or
Oh, yeah, David Turpin, yeah.
I'm like, who the heck is this
Yeah.
guy? They keep and they're all playing.
Right.
And so one of the big differences between Peterson and the previous coaches in practice is that all these guys were getting, usually the first team would get 80% of reps in practice.
Yeah.
Now the first, second, and third team, they're all getting reps continuously.
Wow.
And they're all getting in the game.
Yeah.
And when you get in November, it's all about depth.
Yes.
Because you lose a key
absolutely.
player, and
We saw it. We lost Joe Mathis,
Yeah.
and now it's Connor O'Brien, and Saul's been playing a lot, but
Yeah.
it's Connor O'Brien, it's Benny Potati.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Benny,
Tevis Bartlett.
Tevis Bartlett, if I'm butchering your name, but yeah, that's so important. Ben Burkervin, backup runner, got the pick last week. Like you said,
Yeah.
guys are playing.
Yep.
Depth is important in a big Pac-12 road game.
we've got the depth at just about every position. I'm not as knowledgeable as you guys are, but we've got it at a lot of key positions.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Jimmy,
Yep.
thank you for having us on.
Okay.
Safety, 1984, regular season, 85 Orange Bowl team. Yeah, show that off. Look at that. Things priceless. Obviously, hey, thanks for coming on.
Hall
again.
of Fame
yes.
inductee.
Hall of Fame inductee. I should. Yes. Wow, that was obviously.
Yeah.
I don't get to talk to too many Husky Hall of Famers too often, and especially an Orange Bowl champion. Like I said, until the advent of the BCS, no Pac-12 team had ever gone to the Orange Bowl, let alone beat Oklahoma. Beat Oklahoma when Oklahoma was capital O Oklahoma. Barry Switzer and company. I mean, what a special team and a special year. Even with some crappy circumstances, truthfully, losing to SC and not getting a chance to play in the Rose Bowl, tough. But they were able to recover, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the glory teams of UW's history. It's a little bit before my time. I didn't really get to see all those games, but certainly a hell of a team.
Yeah.
Back to the kind of the glory years of the Don James era.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the Purple Rain again. And I think something that, before we get back to the X's and O's, I think that's one of my favorite things about Jen Cohen and this new administration is the marketing. It's trying to regain some Husky fans because the diehards, the nerds like us, we didn't go away. Okay, but that base obviously shrunk though, and now they're trying to. We lost a generation of Husky fans, and to get the marketing and to get the people, the community excited. Obviously, the product on the field needs to be better, but the messaging has been clear and concise, and we know what it's Purple Rain. Let's let Purple Rain again, whether it's football, basketball. Heck, the baseball team made the NCAA tournament a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the women's basketball team. Just we'll go in the Final Four overall. Just really an upward trend for Husky athletics.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels almost like it's back to the glory years. I mean, we still got a long way to go, but it's just really incredible how this team has come together. And, right, and Chris Peterson just has the program rolling. It seems to be really kind of flowing down the lines to the other programs at UW.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go, like I said, let's get back into the X's and O's aspect of it. We're live here from Nate's Wings and Waffles, Real Dog TV, Saturday Tailgate Show. Of course, I'm Tyson Allenbaugh. You normally hear us on the radio or a podcast, so I have a radio face. This is Anthony This is Anthony Dion. Mike Barton's behind the scenes. Special shout out. I don't know, Darren was somewhere. I'm not sure. Darren, thanks to Darren and thank you to Nate Robinson, obviously, for giving us and giving you that Corona there. Defensively, I think a number here. Let's just do conference games only. USC's only given up 4 sacks. That's a really impressive number. Granted, they played some absolute cupcakes, but
Arizona State, Cal,
similar cupcakes to UW though.
Oregon.
So you have to give them credit because
they're playing the same teams that we're playing.
Exactly, and they played one more game than UW has in conference. So no Joe Mathis. Do you anticipate Huskies are not known for blitzing? Do you anticipate maybe a little bit more Azim Victor coming through? You know, that kind of thing, mixing it up a little bit.
I do, Tyson, and it's a good point that you bring up because I think they're going to have to find a way to create some pressure outside of just rushing 4 guys. They haven't really been getting home with just 4, Mike. Against Utah, against Cal last week, they just had the 1 sack in each game, and actually the sack that they attained against Utah was a blitz up the middle by Keyshawn D'Area and Azim Victor. So I think they're going to have to find ways to create pressure. I think you'll see some T stunts between guys like Vea, Qualls,
Wuching
and Connor O'Brien and Greg Gaines. Find a way to get those guys matched up on just one guy instead of double team and triple team, and maybe they might even blitz some corners off the edges. We've seen Pete Kukowski do that sort of thing in games in the past, where he brings a Darren Gardenhire or a Sidney Jones or a Buda Baker off the edge.
And we haven't seen that yet this year.
Not a whole lot this year.
I think they have been holding their blitz cards very close to their chest until they needed it. And today I think they're going to need it. They got some beefy mofos up there,
to say the least,
with Zach Banner, who is playing like an All-American, who is 6'9", I think 900 pounds. Yeah, and he's a massive body.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in seeing the Huskies' defensive line match up against this USC line. This is, everybody's talking about, you read Pro Football Focus, Elijah Qualls, Greg Gaines, Vita Vea, they all have graded out top 20 the entire year.
Yep.
How they grade it out this year is really going to be very telling about this game.
Yeah.
Right. And have they padded stats? No. They just had a lot of opportunities because the offense scores so quickly.
Yeah.
Does the offense slow down a little bit this time to help the offense go with that slow strangulation like they did against Stanford? Do they mix it up? Tempo 1, Tempo 2, Tempo 3. They got to find a way to help out this defense because that's an explosive USC offense.
You don't want to lose the time of possession battle against USC because they are so talented offensively. There's so many weapons. The less amount of time that UW is going to be on the field defensively, I think will be key to them winning the game if they can have longer drives offensively. I mean, and I know that hasn't been their MO so far this year, but I think that they need to try to milk the clock a little bit. I mean, as much as if big plays are there, obviously
that's the balance.
Right, and they've scored so quickly this entire year. You look down, they're on the field, and then you go to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden they're off the